Once upon a time, there lived an apple farmer in a peaceful little valley. His orchard was famous far and wide for producing the most beautiful apples anyone had ever seen. Big, red, shiny, and sweet. Every autumn, when the trees bent low under the weight of ripe fruit, the farmer's heart filled with pride and peace. To him, those apples were not just a source of income, they were a reflection of his hard work, patience, and love for nature. One morning, as the sun rose and painted the sky in golden colors, the farmer went out for his daily walk through the orchard with his faithful dog. The air was cool and fresh, and the smell of ripening fruit surrounded him. Everything seemed perfect until his eyes caught something unusual. On his most precious apple tree, right at the very top, there was one single rotten apple. Its skin was brown, soft, and ugly among all the perfect red ones. The farmer frowned. He knew that if that rotten apple stayed there, it could spread disease to the others and ruin the entire harvest. I have to do something, he thought. He quickly ran to his shed and returned with a long stick. This will work, he said to himself. I'll just knock it down before it spoils the others. He aimed carefully and hit the branch once, twice, and again. But the stick wasn't the longinog. Instead of the rotten apple, several good ones fell down and got bruised on the ground. The farmer sighed in frustration. This isn't working. I need a better plan. He went back to his shed and grabbed a slingshot. This will definitely work, he thought confidently. Standing at a distance, he aimed carefully and fired. But emisith. It threeth. Again. Another miss. Shot after shot, the rotten apples still hung there, untouched, while a few more good apples fell off. The farmer's patience began to fade. How can one bad apple cause so much trouble? He muttered angrily, tossing the slingshot aside. He sat under the tree, thinking, if I can't reach it and I can't shoot it down, then maybe I can shake the tree. Determined, he stood up and grabbed the trunk with both hands. He pushed and pulled with all his strength. The branches rattled, the leaves fluttered, and apples began to rain down, but not the rotten one. When he stopped, the ground was covered with crushed, red apples. All his good fruit. He looked up again and saw that same ugly, rotten apple still hanging stubbornly from the branch. He felt defeated. Days passed, but the farmer couldn't stop thinking about that one apple. Every morning, the first thing he did was look at it. Every night, it appeared in his dreams. It began to haunt him. His orchard, once a place of joy, now felt like a reminder of failure. He started losing sleep and peace of mind. Then, one day, in frustration and anger, he made a final decision. Enough is enough, he shouted. If I can't knock it, shoot it, or shake it down, I'll just cut off the whole branch. He went back to his shed, grabbed his chainsaw, and marched toward the tree. The buzzing sound of the saw filled the orchard. He looked up at the branch with fierce determination, but just as he was about to cut it, he stopped. Something made him look around. Really look. The orchard, once so beautiful, was now covered in damaged fruit. The ground was littered with crushed apples, their sweet juice soaking into the soil. Branches were broken, leaves were scattered, and nearly all his good apples were gone. His heart sank. He dropped the chainsaw and fell to his knees. In his obsession to remove one bad apple, he had destroyed almost all the good ones himself. He sat there in silence for a long time, staring at the lonely, rotten apples still hanging from the tree. Slowly, he realized the truth. The apple wasn't the real problem. His own impatience, his obsession, his inability to let go, those had caused the real damage. Tears filled his eyes as he whispered to himself, all this for one bad apple. The next morning, the farmer walked through his orchard again, but this time with a different heart. He saw the remaining trees still full of life, still bearing fruit, still beautiful in their own way. He realized that even though he had lost many apples, not everything was gone. There was still good to be thankful for. And from that day on, whenever he saw a bad apple, he didn't panic. He didn't let it consume his thoughts. Instead, he reminded himself to look at all the good apples still shining on the trees. Because sometimes in life we focus too much on what's wrong A mistake we made, a person who hurt us, a bad memory, that one. T go away, and we forget to appreciate what is still right. The blessings, the peace, the simple joys that remain. The farmer learned that true happiness doesn't come from having everything perfect. It comes from seeing the beauty that is already there, even when there is a little imperfection among it. So the next time you find a rotten apple in your life, don't let it make you blind to the rest of your orchard. Step back, take a breath, and count your good apples, because there are always more of them than you think.